Hello, friends, and welcome back to another interesting topic in our series on Introduction to Scrabble, brought to you by Collins, Mattel, and the Scrabble Association of India, in partnership with the Scrabble Association of Delhi and Wordaholics. We have armed you with how to begin, play, and then end a game. So today, let's look at how to unjumble words to find their anagrams. An anagram of a word is simply another word that can be made by rearranging the letters. For example, read, R-E-A-D, can be rearranged to make another word, dear. The word board, B-O-A-R-D, as in a blackboard or a whiteboard, can be rearranged to form the word broad, which simply means something which is wide. In the context of Scrabble, it is very important to be able to unjumble words so that we can find bingos on our rack. Say, for example, we have a rack like this, and simply by unjumbling or reshuffling words, we could make the simple word of parties. Not only parties, we could even make another simple word, which is pirates. Apart from these two, there are various other bingos you can make from these same set of 7 tiles, and we encourage you to go look at those. But for now, let's try and unjumble the letters H-A-C-R-E-T-E. These give you not just one, but 6 anagrams. And if we were to place a common ending of ER in the end, it should be fairly simple to spot the bingo teacher. Ironically, the anagram of teach is cheat, and so we could also make the word cheater. A teacher could reteach, whereas a cheater could recheat. Another new word you can make is hectare, which is simply a unit of measure for land. Say, for example, a plot of land could be 1 hectare in size or 5 hectares in size. And a beautiful new word you learn is wretched. In the olden days, when the English went out hunting into the woods, wretched is the sound they made to call back the hounds. Scrabble, as we know, is a game of word power and strategy, and our anagramming skills help us to improve our word power and vocabulary. And where strategy comes into play is how we can play a word on the board and how many points we can score for it. Let's take the example of the word teacher. Suppose you find the word teacher, but you realize that you cannot play that on the board. And by looking at the board once again, you see that you could play a word which begins with the letter R. And hence you could play the word reteach or recheat or recheat and score bingo points for it. Also, there could be times when you realize that if you have played the word reteach, you're getting 70 points for it. But there are other hotspots available on the board, and simply playing the word cheater can give you 85 points. You would obviously want to try and maximize your score, think strategically, and score points accordingly. Which brings us to the aspect of common beginnings and endings to words, which are the common prefix or suffix to words. These can help us spot bingos on our rack. Listed here are some of the common beginnings and endings. And the board on your right shows you a few of the words played with these common beginnings and endings. With the beginnings like DIS, you could make words like disable or discard. With un, you could have unusual, or what you see on the board over here, uncover, that is played. With in, you could make words like inquiry. With RE, there could be words like review or release. With out as a beginning, you could make words like outside or outrage. Shown on the board over here is the word outread. O-U-T-R-E-A-D. This could also be anagrammed into outdare, O-U-T-D-A-R-E. Over and under can be used as prefixes to make words like overage, underage, or maybe even understand. With pre, you can make words like preheat or pre-cook. With be, you can have words like belated. Knowledge of English grammar is very helpful in finding words with these common endings. Verbs end in ing, and so it may be fairly simple to spot words like running, playing. We have shown you the example of the word learning played on the board here. Comparative and superlative degrees of adjectives are another simple way of spotting words. Say, for example, happy, happier, and happiest. So the superlative degree of happy has been shown on the board over here with the word happiest ending in IEST. Another way in which you can get the comparative and superlative degree of adjectives is by adding ER and ERS. For example, big, bigger, biggest. ISH is an ending you can put to nouns to convert them into an adjective. For example, child could become childish, boy would be boyish, girl would be girlish. Other common endings are TION and SION. Depicted here on the board is the word elation, ending in TION. ED is an ending you can add to words to make them into the past tense. So the past tense of embark is embarked, which is shown here on the board. Also the word enjoyed, which is shown here below on the board. Able is an ending for words like disable or capable. And with FUL as an ending, you can make beautiful words like this very beautiful 9-letter word played on the board, BEAUTIFUL. Most words can be made into a plural by simply adding an S to the word. So, for example, the word wonder has been made into a plural by adding an S and making it into the word wonders. There are certain words which require you to add an ES as an ending to pluralize them. And so we have the plural of matrix as matrices, which is shown here on the board. OUS is another common ending, and the beautiful word zealous played over here. Zealous means a person who has a lot of zeal or enthusiasm. And along with the S of zealous, we have shown you another very beautiful word, conquest. Even though conquest is a beautiful word and would have scored a lot of points for the player who played the word, this is quite a risky play in that when the word is played, there is a triple word score next to the word conquest. So if your opponent were to add an S to the word conquest, make it conquest, and play another word in this vertical direction, your opponent would have got triple word score, not only for this word which ends in S over here, but also for the word conquest. And so you realize that huge points would have been scored by your opponent. So looking at that example, you may think that it is better to be able to find bingos with high value tiles of J, Q, X, and Z. But actually in Scrabble, it is easier to make bingos with single point tiles. Let's take the example of 1-point tiles, which make up the word retina. And retina plus blank could give you n number of possibilities of playable bingos on the board, because retina plus most other letters from the English alphabet series will give you a bingo. For example, with a D, one could make simple words like trained, detrain, which means to disembark or get off a train. And we learn a new word, which is anti-red, which is the color of the anti-quark, something associated with quantum physics. Retina plus G gives you anagrams, which are granite, gratine, which is a form of cooking, ingrate, which is an ingrateful person, tangier, and tearing. With H, we can make words like hairnet, inert, therian. Retina plus I gives us only one bingo, which is inertia. And with the K, we have keratin, which is the hair protein. With P, we have fairly simple words that can be made, which are enapter, pertain, repaint, and painter. And with R, we have words like retrain, terrain, and trainer. These are only some of the examples. There are many more words that can be made with retina and a blank shown on this board. Over here are few of the other examples. With an E, one could make trainee. Retina with an L could give you reliant. With a W, the word that could be made is tinware. With F, one could make fainter. With M, one could make the word of minaret, which are these small towers which we find in mosques. So we realize that the wonders of Scrabble never cease to amaze us. We hope you start having fun with words, start building on your word knowledge, start building on your anagramming skills, which in turn will help to improve your Scrabble skills. And in our next session, we shall focus on 2-letter words which are exclusive to Scrabble. And till we see you next time, this is Neeta Bhatia from Wordaholics saying goodbye for now.